Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is another of those episodes you've been asking for. Is basically you want to know more about the people and the things that are going on in the store. Back when I used to have a store back in the early 90s. Okay, so this is one of the sort of episodes that sort of stems from that. Okay, so before I begin, I want to remind you people to go down below, click like, and click subscribe. I'm almost at 2,000, so it's just I know that about 40-something% of you people go ahead and watch the video, and that's great. I just hope that I've earned your subscription. So if you can go down below and click subscribe, that'd be really great. All right. So also, if you like all the other episodes that I've got, that now have a database of all the various different episodes in a nice sort of a Google spreadsheet, so that you can go through all the different episodes by topic, actually, so that if you looking for suggestions about animes to watch, I've got them all sort of listed together. If you're looking for episodes about all the kind of neat stuff that we used to have, like cassette labels or laser discs or music CDs or whatever, they're sort of all grouped together, so that they'll be easy for you to find the links. So of course, YouTube doesn't recommend any of my videos, so that will really help you out. Okay, so do have the link below. Will help you look at that. Okay, so today's episode, I was going through various different archives and whatnot, and I came across a really old picture. Okay, it's this one right here, basically. It's a variation. I guess you can say it's the Doujinshi that we never ever really made and published. Okay, and so you can see it's a variation of a whole bunch of different things, and it's been pretty rough shape. So I'll pull up the pictures and put it up for you. But the neat thing about this picture is just the fact that it's not just a doujinshi that we did make, but it's a reflection of all the different things that sort of happens in our store, and things that happen in the real world that's sort of reflected and captured in this one particular picture. Okay, and I'll sort of go through it one by one as it goes. Okay, so first of all, I'll begin with sort of the atmosphere, okay, of the world, as it were. Okay, so we're looking at basically, you can see all the various different elements in this particular picture, where obviously it's a picture based on the X-Files. Okay, so the X-Files, of course, is a very popular TV series that came out in 1993, and the significance of it is that a lot of it was actually filmed in Vancouver. So that's why it had a really sort of a close personal sort of thing, because it said certain things that we see in the video and the TV series that was there, we recognize, because they're the local things that happen, and we'll also see the film crews all the way around. So again, that sort of was on the foremost of our mind. Okay, but there's all these other things that sort of were kind of happening, and that's what we decided, on this, instead of calling it the X-Files, we call it the P-Files. Okay, and this was because at this particular time, a whole bunch of child abuse sort of stories were sort of appearing. Of course, I don't want to make fun of that, because it is a very serious problem in the nature. But in history, a whole bunch of these sort of things also transpired around 1993. One of the biggest news stories, of course, was the whole Michael Jackson thing that cropped up, starting with all the stories that happened around there. The upbringing of course, the priests in the Catholic Church and that kind of stuff, that also happened in the early 90s, and so that was coming very newsworthy and that kind of stuff at that time in the early 90s. So much so that also we had this TV series in Canada, a little mini series, really a little short little mini series called The Boys of St. Vincent, and that was also based on that sort of thing. And I'm sure that that was the story, or the pivoting point of that came from that thing. So again, these are all sort of things that sort of came in that. So that's sort of what we had the idea of. Okay, so you can see where some of our ideas are starting to kind of culminate together. Okay, the other really big thing that sort of was the thing that was the big talking point in the store was the whole other thing of phallic symbols, right? People wanted to ban and different monuments and that kind of stuff because they look like phallic symbols. Okay, one of the closer to media is one of the big point stories was the art cover for the release of The Little Mermaid from Disney. There was a big, huge uproar. The fact that the artist drew a big phallic symbol in the cover of the Little Mermaid. Okay, and of course Disney will deny it, of course, but that was sort of a big thing. So you can see there's a whole bunch of this kind of sexual innuendo kind of stuff going on at the beginning of this period. So that's sort of going to set the historically what happened in the media, okay, during this time. Okay, so how does this affect the store? Well, as you know, the store at this time was basically a nice place that people could come and hang out and play video games and basically just socialize, right? Because as I said, a lot of people would finish work or finish school. They would end up in the store and they'd pull out whatever Street Fighter, Line Greaser, or something like that, and they begin playing the level. Final Fantasy, I think it was the other one, and they begin playing different games and whatnot in the store. Okay, so the characters that I've picked out in this particular this cover obviously is from X-Files. Okay, so the influence obviously is from the popularity of the X-Files, the TV show. But you can see that I've picked out two characters, Rascal Sensei and Yuna. Okay, so how does that correspond to what is happening in the store? Well, one of my translators, okay, one's obviously Daisuke, but we also had another person named John. Okay, now we used to because his name is very close to Onizuka. Okay, so we decided to basically call him GTO, the Great Teacher Onizuka, right? Or Sensei Onizuka, right? And so so that was the running sort of nickname that we have assigned him because of how close his name is. So we just called him GTO, right? And so at about this time, we had just finished subtitling the series, the magical series, Azukun Cha-Cha, or Red Riding Hood Cha-Cha. Now, John didn't do the translation of that, but Daisuke was the one that did the translation for that particular series. But when we were doing that, we ran across the character Rascal Sensei, okay, which is the teacher for Azukun Cha-Cha, right? And basically the connection became and it happened when one day in the store, I think it was Kevin and John. They were playing I think it was Line Greaser 4, I think it was Line Greaser 3, 4, I can't remember. And they basically ran into the Ojo-sama type character in that game, and then that somehow transpired to John taking off his belt and using it as a whip, okay, which is exactly what Rascal Sensei does in Red Riding Hood Cha-Cha. So we equated the two together, and GTO became Rascal Sensei. Okay, so that's basically how he progressed from being the Great Teacher Onizuka to Rascal Sensei. So we put that one in there. So we associated that one with him calling him Rascal Sensei. Now the connection is that later, one of the games that we got on the PC Engine was Galaxy of Fallen Yuna. Okay, and so go on again. It's one of these, sort of story-based games that only really a Japanese person could really actually play. Okay. Now, of course, Daisuke wasn't so much interested in Yuna as more as that John was. Now he was is interested in so much so that not only did he play both Yuna 1 and 2 for the PC Engine, we also got the PC Engine FX, which I also got the Yuna for game for that one, and he also bought all the various different the sound drama CDs for Yuna. Okay, so again, one of those type of things where like an ordinary person like you and me would probably not buy, or unless I bought it by accident, which also happens too. Because again, most of the content is audio dialogue. Okay, so obviously, Yuna is obviously one of his favorite sort of sort of shows that he likes to watch and listen to, and get the story and then get the content for, and then that was really popular at around this time. So we decided, okay, with the limited skills of Photoshop that I had, and again, this is using Photoshop like 3.0, where you don't have multiple undo. There's no alpha layering and no channels like that. So basically, you can only undo the last thing that you did, and you don't have alpha channels, so you can't take out certain things. So doing overlaps and overfills was quite difficult. We decided, okay, why don't we take the company's head off and put Rascal Sensei there, and instead of put Scully there, get rid of that and put Yuna there, and then we'll basically have this weird team, basically looking for weirdos, okay, and instead of calling it the X Files, we call it the P Files, right? Referring to pedophiles, right? And again. If you watch the show, Mulder has a poster on his wall that says, the truth is out there, right? But we made a twist on that and basically changed the title of that one and added to the bottom saying, well, you don't want to know the truth. Okay. So we put that together all into a poster and made it into this little clip, and that's what we have here. And so basically, so this little poster, even as funny as it is, and it'd be a great introduction for Doujinshi, but again, because of it, the sensitive nature of it, the topic, we never ever did make anything of it, other than just this funny cover. But yeah, now it's a really interesting sort of Doujinshi, kind of fanfic type of thing that would have happened, especially using anime characters and whatnot, that never ever transpired. But now that I look at this thing, it actually was a pretty good reflection of what was going on during this time, and basically, some of the strange offbeat topics and off things that kind of go off the bandwagon, as it were. When basically different people are talking about and basically socializing about different topics that happened in the store. Again, not because it's all anime, but again, they bring their influences and that kind of stuff in when they basically come into the store just to do something simple like watch videos and play video games. Hope you sort of kind of get a better sense of what was sort of the environment that we were in, and some of the things that sort of kind of would have happened when we were in the store. Again, it was this sort of environment doesn't really happen today, because again, a lot of people just play their games at home. They don't want to actually go out to go any places. People don't even want to go out to go shopping or rent videos or anything anymore. They just get everything online. So this sort of experience of getting introduced and influenced by other things that are not necessarily anime and not necessarily well, not necessarily anime, but maybe like popular culture and that type of things, is totally different because of that, because of this lack of socialization, right? And I think that's one thing that we sort of don't have nowadays, is a real kind of anime community, like we did with it before. Maybe at a convention or something, but it seems, by the length of the convention, it's really, really short. So again, this is sort of one of these things that kind of builds over time, and I think that's one thing that we just don't have in the modern culture today. Okay, so what you do is want to go down below, click like and click subscribe, and I'm going to get more episodes where I'm going to bring out some more pictures. I've just finished talking to and interviewing some my old friends and that kind of stuff, and trying to get some points and things. So I've got another convention story coming up. I'll put that together. So again, what you want to do is make sure you got the notifications on, so that when I get new episodes, you'll hear about them. Alright, so stay tuned for those. Okay, so until next time, see you again.